We have with us Mr. Scott Lumpkin, who is a film producer and has worked in television and film for over 2 decades. He and his wife, Kate, own their own Alabama independent record label. Him and his wife and their 5 children currently reside in Fairhope, Alabama. We're so excited to have you with us today, Scott.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So tell us a little bit. Have you always known that you wanted to be in the film industry?
I've always known that the film industry was fun. In the mid-'80s, my father brought home from work a video camera and just kind of let us have it as kids. So we would take it at night and recreate TV commercials that we saw on television. And my youngest brother and I would make TV shows. It was always how to beat up your little brother or how to torture your little brother. But then I would watch TV shows on mute and learn the shots and how the angles and how you would tell the story visually, and convince my parents to buy a second VCR, and I would shoot things and mimic those shots and recreate those scenes with my brothers, and eventually my sister always became the bad guy. But we would put those shows together and copy them shot for shot and rebuild them. So yeah, I always thought it was fun. I never thought of it as a job. And still to this day, I'm waiting for someone to give me a real job.
What would you say has been a skill that you've learned from being involved in this industry?
This industry's taught me so much. I'd say networking, meeting people, remembering how to put people together and how to match people for projects. The ability to tell a story, that's been a key. Is I look at scripts and read for several hours every single day, and I break those stories apart almost like a Rubik's Cube to figure out how I would put it back together again. So I think the ultimate skill that I've learned is the puzzle.
And how do you think that skill can apply universally?
Well, it's always about networking, and it's about what you take with you from different places, whether we just saw someone talk about the Appalachian Trail and what you take from those memories as you pass through, or how peace can be found in silence, in the moments, and how to utilize all of the resources, because you never know when you're going to do a film about this while you're experiencing it, or where you've gone, or the people you've met, and how it can all come together to make those pieces fit. I think that it's about the assembly and about how to put things in the right place at the right time.
Have you ever worked on a project before where those pieces didn't quite fit?
Yes, often. But that to me is the challenge. That's what I like going through, is finding those pieces and figuring out how to make it work. And if it doesn't work, how do I substitute that piece for another piece that does fit? I just finished a project that's one of my most difficult that I've ever done. And every day I would start the morning and scratch my head and think, oh man, I can't believe I said yes to this. And at the end of the day, I'd think, okay, we did it. And it's always about the way. And if you assemble the right team and you collect the right people that you've found, together you can put your heads together and figure out that way.
And would you say that is a success factor for these projects that you've worked on?
Yeah, I would. I think that as a filmmaker, the success factor is how many people can you get to watch your movie. So, and the way you do that is to make the movie as good as you possibly can. So I think, the better it is and the outcome, the more audience you have, or the more people you've wowed, or the more people that come to you and say they appreciated the experience. Yeah, I think the success factor is there. We watch movies, or at least I watch movies and always have as a kid, because I want to fall in love, or because I want to be a spy, or because I want to be a cowboy. So if I can create a film that puts that feeling in the audience, then yeah, I'd say it was a success.
What has it been like for you working with your wife on some projects?
We're a good team. We bounce off of each other very well, and we both have learned over the years, not necessarily from each other, but from the hard knocks of this business, to appreciate criticism. So we have a really good relationship in that I always joke and say that she's going to edit whatever I do, and she always jokes and says I'm going to critique whatever she does. But it's good, and it's always a good criticism. And I know when I first got started doing this, and I remember being so nervous the very first movie I ever did, and I'm showing it to my family and my parents and whoever else, and they're looking at the film, and I'm thinking, oh man, this is so bad. What did I do? And learning to take the criticism and feel like, oh, okay, that's how I can make it better. And so now as the films have gotten bigger and the audiences have gotten bigger, we do the test screenings, and a lot of directors that I've worked with won't go. And I love sitting in the back and listening to the people go, man, that was really wrong. Or, hey, here's what we could do that's better. And I can take it, and the cool part about being the person working the puzzle is I can decide, oh, I like that note, or no, I don't necessarily like that note. And my kids in the audience will know that I'm usually pretty good at doing whatever I want to do anyway. So I've learned to sort of listen to what else everyone says and take the good and take the bad and figure out how to make it all work.
Would you say that there's any project that you've walked into that you had no idea what to do with in the beginning?
Oh, yeah. I just did one where I was required to shoot in countries that I've never been to before and go to places I've never been to before. And as you go into those countries and you start looking at the rules, they'll tell you, yeah, you can take no one with you. So as I'm traveling in as the only person and the filmmaker trying to make this, saying, I don't even get a phone in, like, please. So yeah, but I find those rewarding and fun as well. I find that a neat puzzle, and it's a challenge, in a different way as the ones that we can do at home. I like that. That to me is the cool part about this job.
Do you have a favorite genre or type of movie?
No. Yes and no. Right now I've been enjoying doing a lot more action. I've found that the scary movies are the easiest ones for me to package, primarily because there are so many foreign markets now, and scary is scary in any language, where comedy is pretty much cultural, and love stories are cultural. So, it kind of depends on where I am. Right now, I'd love to do a Western, only because I haven't done enough cowboy movies, and I think there aren't enough cowboy movies out there. But I'm enjoying action right now. I'm enjoying the heist movies and the moving and all the parts that go along with it.
And why do you think it's important for students to pursue their goals and dreams?
Well, reach in your pocket, and that's what you sold your happiness for. I produced movies and TV commercials the whole time I was a student at Troy. Not knowing that it was a job that I would actually do. Or I thought, wow, this is a way to make easy cash, and it's kind of fun, and I could work at the half shell or work wherever I was working when I was a student here, and you can't hold this against me, but ditch class every now and then to go do a commercial. And before I was a senior, I directed a national TV spot and directed some music videos and thought, well, this is kind of cool. People are paying me to do this. And as soon as I graduated from college and I took the standard job, I would find, okay, I'm going to work, and this kind of is a bummer. When's my next ability to take sick leave? Okay, let's make a few phone calls and see if we can book a commercial or book a music video during that time. And finally, it dawned on me one day that I was waiting for sick leave so I could go do a movie, or waiting for vacation time so I could do this, or ever how it worked. Then I realized, that's way cooler than this 9-to-5 thing. Why not just try it? So I made myself a goal. All right, I'm going to quit my job. At the time, I had a cheap mortgage, and I wasn't married, and it didn't have to have a lot. So it was, let's just do this until how about 27? You can still kind of pick up with life at 27. So I'm going to do the movie thing until 27, and if it sucks really bad, I'll quit it. So 27 came, and I was still having fun and making a living and traveling the world, and I'd say, all right, I'm going to do it till I'm 30, and then I'm going to do it until I'm 35, then I'm going to do it till I'm 40. And now that I'm past 40, my wife is like, give it up. No one's going to give you a real job. You're not starting over. Stick with it. This is what you're doing. And, I like it. I take a project that I struggle with, or I take a project that's really difficult, and I can come home from work at times and go, what, I think I sold myself short. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet, and I said yes to these people, and I'm on the hook for a $40 million loan, and, oh, God, help me. But I figure it out, and at the end of it, I like it. At the end of the day, it's cool. And at the end of the day, I can sit down with my kids and my friends and my family and the people that worked on the movie and watch it and enjoy it. And my kids can attest that we just watched a test of my next movie that comes out in January, and we pick it apart and go, oh yeah, okay, this was good. There's some things that need help, but we can watch this. And I don't smack them and make them tell me it's great. I like their opinion. They know to tell me it's great, but the reality is that's the fun part. That's the gift. That's the exciting thing. And as the projects get bigger, they take 11 months instead of 3 months. So I'm gone, and there's a lot more heart in it, and a lot more tears and blood, and everything else. But it's worth it.
And just to leave our audience with one little tidbit, what would that be that you would give them?
Do it. Go out. Don't think that just because of your limitations or where you are, you can't achieve your goals. I grew up in Alabama. I went to public schools and never had anyone say, "Oh, a film producer is a career you can do." It's something that I kind of wanted to do. It's something I liked, and I went for it. With today's outlets, you can do it too. It's not whatever you need. At the time when we first started, you had to have a theatrical release to be considered a successful movie. But now's the world of YouTube and Netflix and Hulu and Amazon and all these things. Do it, and don't let anyone say no. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't. I'd say I've probably read 3,000 scripts in my life. I, at any given time, have 20 to 25 movies on my desk that are all projects that, as the kids can attest, I'm about to do anytime in the next 2 weeks. And keep the pipeline going. Chase the goal and chase the dream, and don't take no for an answer.
Thank you, Scott. We've so much enjoyed having you here today.
Well, thank you all.